There are AI tools that try to help you write, and then there are AI tools that try to help you make sense of everything you already have. And that is where NotebookLM comes in. And I'm going to show you exactly what I mean. This is NotebookLM. You create a notebook, add your sources, and then it can help summarize, organize, and explain, and even turn your material into things like briefing docs, mind maps, study guides, and audio overviews. So instead of asking AI a random question and hoping it understands the context, you give NotebookLM the actual material that you want to work from. So that could be a blog post, a YouTube video, a PDF, research links, notes, whatever you're trying to make sense of. And this is why I wanted to test it from a creator's perspective, because I don't need just another chatbot. I need to look at this and think, what is this that I can do something with? Not just a pile of content and notes and research and transcripts and ideas. Help me figure out what's actually useful from all of this. So today, I'm testing NotebookLM as a real creator with real material, and hopefully help to organize my messy workflow. Can it pull useful points from a transcript? Can it help turn research into content? And most importantly, does it actually save time? Or does it just become another AI tool that you have to manage? Welcome to GBRLIFE Reviews, where I test the tools, platforms, and systems so you don't waste your time, your money, or your energy. So let's get into it while you like and subscribe. And use the chapters, that's what they're there for. So as always, where do we get started with this? By understanding what NotebookLM actually is. It's an AI-powered research and organization tool from Google. And honestly, the easiest way to explain this is you create a notebook, you add sources, and then NotebookLM uses those sources to answer questions, summarize information, automatically create study guides, generate outlines, and make audio overviews. Also, it helps you understand the material. So instead of asking AI something broad like, tell me about this topic, you're saying, here are my actual sources. Now help me work with this. And that's the main difference. And honestly, that difference matters because with a lot of AI tools, the issue is trust. Where did that answer come from? Did it make that up? Is it pulling from old information? Is it giving me generic advice? Is it hallucinating? And NotebookLM is designed to stay grounded in the material you upload. So if you upload a transcript, it works from that transcript. If you upload research, it works from that research. Or if you upload a Google Doc, it's going to work from that document. And people who deal with a lot of information, this could be extremely useful, especially if you're, pretty much anyone. I mean, I could name it, a writer, a podcaster, a YouTuber, someone who reads a lot, someone who has a lot of notes everywhere. I mean, anything. And in this case, me, but I have a feeling also you. So what can you add to NotebookLM to make all of this work? Everything. You heard it right. Everything. I'm sure there's something you can add, but honestly, after I looked at the list, couldn't find one. Fees, PowerPoints, Word docs, all of the Google stuff because it's a Google document, YouTube videos, audio files, websites, PDFs, everything. So to me, that's a lot. And that matters because when I'm working with anything GBRLIFE, I'm not just working with one type of content. I'm working with, goodness gracious, practically everything. I'm pulling everything together. I'm trying to figure out if it's actually going to work and see what I can get from all of that information. So let's take a look at NotebookLM together and see how this actually all works as a true tester with you. So what you have in front of you is not NotebookLM that you just saw in the intro, but it is the website. I just wanted you to see that from the website, you can just directly press on try NotebookLM, and it's going to bring you there. It's not very complicated to get there, and anything else you might want to know about it is probably going to be right on the website. So going into NotebookLM, right here, we're actually inside of a notebook. So let's get to the actual front page, and here you have it. Now there's two different types. There's actually three. What do I mean by that? Well, we're going to get into the pricing, but this side is my personal side, and what you're seeing is the featured notebooks and the recent notebooks that it provides. But then if I were to go over to the Pro side, which I have with my business, you'll see that it didn't actually give me any samples. I did have an untitled notebook. I opened that in the actual beginning of this entire thing, but I was wondering why it didn't. And then I realized that it's because it's on a different tier. So this one automatically has a lot more going for it, but we'll get into that when we get into the pricing. Right now, I'm actually going to go over to the personal side. And the reason for that is because most people are going to end up on the Plus plan if you use a plan at all. And so this one's actually going to give you a better idea of what it can do for the regular person. So first off, you have featured notebooks. Why do they give you this? Because it's telling you, as soon as you get in, how do you use this? And what do you do next? And that's actually something I always say I like. Getting in, seeing exactly how this works from the get-go. So if I click on the very first one, it shows you all of the sources right on the left side. And it shows you the actual notebook and your ability to start typing right inside there. And then you also have your studio right on the right side. And basically, you could look at this as your pages of the notebook. So if I were to click on it, you'd see some of the notes within there. You could go over here and see there's a video, so you can utilize that, of course. Or you can go into, there's everything weird. No, the everything is weird economy. There's an everything is weird economy. That's interesting. But either way, you can see it's bringing you websites. It's bringing you the YouTube videos or just videos in general. It's bringing you audio right here. If you'd like, we can go into another one of these. Let's go into parenting advice for the digital age. Okay, here's another one, a bunch of sources. Let's click into some of these sources. Right here, it's showing you exactly where it's bringing any information from. Again, you have this chat, so you can add things here, ask it questions. And then you have the studio, again, right on the right side. So you can utilize this in a lot of different ways, right? So just depending on whatever it is that you want to do. Now, if I were to go into my own notebook, why? Because that's kind of the whole point, guys. That's what we're doing here. And before I even say anything else, I want to make it also very clear. Isn't this amazing with citations? Think about that. All of those citations that everyone hates doing school-wise, honestly, possibly even repurposing some of your content, because you could absolutely take some of this information and put it into another notebook. So let's start first off with creating a notebook. So this one's untitled. What do I want to search for? Well, I did just do my podcast on Courtney Clenny. If you haven't seen that podcast, or I guess listen to, not watch, listen to that podcast, it's available right here on YouTube. So you can check that out, or you can go on any of your favorite podcast platforms. But let's make a notebook for it. Courtney Clenny. So automatically, it's going to go and start searching websites for me. And I don't want this to be untitled. I'm actually going to say my latest podcast, Courtney. There we go. So now we know what it's about. It's already brought in a few things, and I can actually import this all. You see that it's bringing in YouTube videos. It's bringing in some TV, I guess, and then there's 7 more sources. And I can import all of this. It's going to stay right here on the sources. And then the studio is going to have anything I want. And you can see on the studio, it's already asking, do you want an audio overview or a mind map or an infographic or tables or flashcards, a video overview, a quiz so that you can learn better with anything you're doing school-wise? I think that's pretty awesome. And I can see why a lot of students are actually utilizing this. But you know what? I also want to add a few of my own sources. So let me go ahead and add my script. And right there, we now have the script added as one of the sources. Now, you can see one of them didn't work. What do we do there? Just remove the source. It's no problem. Now, if there is an issue with one of your sources, I would actually say either look for a new source or just try to re-add it again. But, not everything is perfect. And speaking of everything not being perfect, I'm going to actually have to start going into some of the things I don't like here, which is, you can see, this is only going to be as good as your sources are. So garbage in, garbage out. You still have to make sure you're adding in good sources. And this could still be wrong on anything that it does because, again, garbage in, garbage out, and it's AI. So AI messes up. It's not perfect. Don't trust everything AI says. Plus, this is not really a creative writing partner. You're not really seeing it trying to determine how to create an entire blog post for you. This is you taking your own stuff or sources from the internet and trying to make it into something that's either going to help you study or it's going to help you, just keep everything contained in one spot. And also that could be another problem depending on how that works for you. Yes, it's going to help you keep everything contained and all in one spot. But then it's also another place you have to go look for all of this stuff. And it's not going to replace something like ChatGPT or Gemini or Claude or really any of your other chatbots because it's trying to help you organize more than it is trying to help you create. So now we see in front of me, it says my latest podcast, Courtney Clenny, and then it's going into a little bit about the case. I can go ahead and continue it as whatever topic I want to within that chat portion, or I can go over here and say, let's go ahead and create an infographic. And it's going to go ahead and create that. And it's saying based on 9 different sources. And it wants to make sure that you know exactly what it's doing and why. And as you're looking at this while it's making that infographic, you can see over here, you can actually save this little blurb that it created from the 10 sources. You can save it as a note. I can still do that even though this is creating that infographic. I can also say, I don't like the summary, or I love the summary, or I can just copy the summary and do with it as I please. The other thing I can do is go to the sources and add that website or really anything I'm trying to do right through here. So you can click on add sources or you can go to web or your Google Drive right through the sources. And when I click on it, there's that note. Okay, and it's officially done. The infographic completed. Just click on it. There it is. I now have an infographic based off of all of that information about Courtney Clenny, all because I just said, hey, create something based off of all of these sources. And that's it. And now I can also say if I like it or don't. And that goes along with literally all of these options. Again, flashcards, slide deck, audio overview, quiz, infographic is what we just did, and a table. And that is NotebookLM. And it's why a lot of people are rushing over to it. So what does this all cost? So here we have that pricing. Now, first thing you're going to see is that it kind of has a free plan. And it is free, but it goes by quick. What do I mean by that? Under this, you have the sources are only up to 50 per notebook. You may think that's insane, and that's plenty. But in reality, when it's pulling all of those sources, it pulls a lot, and you're going to use a lot way faster than you realize. So you can do the try NotebookLM, and I suggest doing it. Why not? Get used to it and see if it's something that actually works for you. But if you do really like it, you then have your Plus, Pro, and Ultra. Under Plus and Pro and Ultra, this is actually based more under your Google One or your Google Suite plans because I automatically have Pro using my Google Suite, and then I have Plus with my Google One plan. And then you have your Ultra, and that's usually more for your power users. What do you get from all of these? 2 times more generations than standard, or 5 times more generation, or 50 times more generation. And then the other thing that's bigger to me is 100 per notebook of your sources, 300 per notebook under Pro, again, your sources, or 600 per notebook. I would say most people are going to get away between 50 and 100. Again, because you want as many sources as you can, especially if you're studying or you're trying to do some actual research and trying to get things created for what you're doing for that notebook. It's insane how much research a person can do when you have the world at your fingertips, aka the internet. So how much does that cost? So if I go over to upgrade, you would have your option of $19.99 or Ultra is $250. Now, I don't think that people should go into Ultra for $250. And this is because you're getting all that Gemini access. And essentially, it's insane. But if you do want to utilize any of this, you get that NotebookLM Pro, and you're going to get that same option if you're using Google Suite. So it really depends on what Google plans you're using and what you're interested in. But I would say this all starts around $20 a month or completely free, which brings us to the bigger question. Is it worth it? NotebookLM is worth it, but only if you're working with a lot of sources, you have long documents, you're research heavy. I would say pretty much any student. You're a writer, maybe writing a book, and you want to bring everything all together with all that research for your book. YouTuber, somebody doing anything with transcripts, notes, just anybody who's doing research or needs summaries or any of that. But I wouldn't say that this is for somebody who basically uses a chatbot for literally everything or is doing high creative writing and you aren't just doing the research side of it, or somebody who maybe hates notebooks because you've never been the type of person who even used a regular notebook. So why would you be able to use a digital one? Maybe you could. I don't know. That's possible. Maybe that type of person should go check it out anyways, but I wouldn't necessarily suggest it per se. And that is the reason why for the GBRLIFE rating, I'm giving NotebookLM a 4 out of 5. Why? Because it's a pretty good tool. It brings in a lot of information. You're using AI. You have a lot of options in order to get things, research things, and keep it all in one place. I think it's pretty great. And again, I could see why students in particular absolutely love this tool. I would have loved something like that when I went to college. But it doesn't replace having good sources and making sure you're really checking on what you're doing. So I can't give it a full 5 because garbage in, garbage out. If you're putting in good information, it's going to give you some great tools and options in order to really keep that research and information in one space. But if it's a bunch of garbage and you're just relying on whatever it gives you, it's not great either. So it depends on you as well. So a 4 out of 5. Plus privacy. It's Google. So Google is Google. I've said it before. I'll say it again. All of your information when it comes to the internet should always be very cautious. You need to make sure that you're cautious. Anything on the internet, anything LLM, anything to do with just anything internet, make sure you're being private. And either way, NotebookLM is not just another chatbot. It's more like a research desk for your brain. And if you use it correctly, it can help turn a pile of information into something that you can actually work with. But if you go into it expecting magic, you're going to be disappointed because it's not the tool that replaces you and your thinking. It's a tool that is supposed to help you organize your thinking. And honestly, that might be more useful. Have you tried NotebookLM? Let us all know in the comments below. Do you actually use it in your real workflow? Or do you feel like it's another tool that people hype up and just nobody ever actually sticks with? Or is there another tool you want me to break down, especially one that's like this? Drop it below, because there's a lot of tools out there. And as I always say, not all of them are worth your time. But that is it for this week's review. But if you want more, you can check out the companion blog on GBRLIFE.com. It's linked below. And if you want another review right now, check out the GBRLIFE Reviews playlist or go watch my last review on DeepSeek. Next, is it actually good enough to make you question paying for ChatGPT? Well, you'll find out when you watch that one next. And remember, with everything on GBRLIFE and my fabulous Mama Koala clothing brand, you don't have to be without GBRLIFE in your life. Now go check out the next review. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.
Not your bit less, logging through the motherhood name.